Alright guys, it's time for us to talk about the specific person topic again. It's been quite some while since I released a video on my channel about this topic, and before we even dive in, right, I want to make it very, very clear that I'm not at all biased here in any direction, right? I'm not saying manifest the SP, but I'm also not saying don't manifest the SP, because first of all, I want to make it very, very clear that it is definitely 100% possible, and I can confirm this not only from my own experience and my own success with that, right? And we're not talking about like an SP with, just like a friend. We're talking about romantic wise right now in this video, okay? So I can confirm that it works. Also, I have several members of my program that I interviewed, and you can find those interviews publicly on my YouTube channel. If you go to the playlist tab and you go to success interviews, you will find those videos where I, interviewed these people and ask them, hey, so what did you do? What helped you the most to eventually, get back with a specific person or manifest your specific person? Also, there are like stories in Neville's books, I think 1 or 2 stories. Then also the stories that I haven't released yet that are on my testimonial page. If you go to upgradeToLife.com/testimonials, you can find written stories there relating to this topic. So why I'm saying all of this is to not give you the impression that I want to talk you out of it. I'm not here to determine what you should manifest or not, right? You have a free will. You are awareness. You can shift into whatever state you want to shift into. You can identify with whatever state you want to identify yourself with, right? You can imagine whatever you want to imagine. So if you want to empower yourself and internally evoke and awaken that state, that mood, that feeling, that reality that you are with your specific person, then there you go, right? I'm not here to hold you back, but I'm here to also show you what I observe, because you have to understand that you're now here watching these videos, and I'm on the other side and I'm recording this video, but I also in the background, I have access to multiple dozens, actually not only dozens, hundreds of people that I spoke to, out of which hundreds, had also the SP as a desire, and I've witnessed every potential outcome. I've witnessed people who, like I just said earlier, who manifested their SP. So clearly, it is possible. I've witnessed people who came with the desire of manifesting a specific person, but then along the way, they changed it, right? I have people who struggle, in a sense, and I want to use this word here on purpose, who really struggle, feel exhausted, feel like on the ground again and again and again when it comes to this topic. And yeah, maybe for them, it is also important to hear like another perspective when it comes to manifesting an SP, because it can be a very exhausting journey. It can be a very overwhelming journey, right? And it can also be an easy journey, right? So there are people who seem to have no problems with manifesting an SP, and they assume it, they imagine it, they intend for it, and movement happens, and the relationship rekindles again. So of course that's also possible, but with this video, I just want to give you more awareness. I just want to help you to not any longer stay so attached to this specific person situation, because like I said, it can be also very exhausting. It can be like messing with your mental health even. It can emotionally drain you a lot if you like don't approach it consciously, if you don't approach it from a good standpoint. That is what I observed, and I would not make this video if I would not feel like that this is something important to talk about. Okay? So again, if you feel already very stable and you want to hear some empowerment on this and you want to dive into it, then again, I recommend you go on my channel. My most watched video is called, The Truth About Manifesting an SP. You can also watch this. This also includes a lot of insight stories and what matters on this specific person subject. You find the success interviews on my channel. But now if you feel that this topic kind of sucks your soul out, so to speak, and you're like, wait, it's been 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and I'm still like feeling overwhelmed with this topic, well, then this video can come in quite handy to help you on that. So the purpose is to help you understand how you can get your desired partner off the pedestal, right? This invisible pedestal that makes this desire seem more important than others, that gives it this artificial importance where it automatically means that it is more unnatural, that it is something special, that it is something that you pedestalize, and only when this is there, then you finally feel happy and relaxed. Right? And how you can eventually manifest them if you decide to stay with that. Okay? And this video will definitely include some harsh truths, so trigger warning. on this point right now. If you just want to hear rose and rainbows and butterflies, and you just want to hear me talk about, hey, affirm 24/7, and they will appear in 3 days, and hey, like, listen to a mind tape overnight, and they will come to your doorstep, so to speak, and stuff like that, that's really not the right video. This is really for, I would say, advanced people who know Neville's teachings, who, in a sense, know that there is no limit to imagination awareness, who know that there is every potential there in existence, also the potential and also the state where you are with your person, but also who understand that, hey, only the fact that you're able, in terms of your free will and your power, that you would be able to do it, does not always mean that it is the wisest thing, right? You can also manifest to, put your hand in a fire. But would I recommend that? Would that be helpful? No. I know it's a silly example, but you get the point, right? Because the fact that we can manifest it, that it would be possible, does not always mean that it is like the most helpful thing. Okay, enough talk. Let's just dive right in. So how can you get your desired partner off the pedestal and eventually manifest them if you still decide to do so? So right now, you're probably to some degree hypnotized, right? Thinking that this is the one person you're destined to be with, that this is the one, right? That this I think it's called one-nitis or something like that in English. But it's like, okay, it's this person and it's no other person on earth, right? I would die for this person. I would give my soul to life only that I can end up with this person. And I'm sure you already get the sense of what energy this admits, so to speak. And I'm not saying, by the way, that everyone watching this video right now that you see it that way. And if you already feel like you're on a more calmer outlook, you feel more whole, you feel more abundant, you feel less needy, you feel less attached to this outside symbol, in that case, this person that you want to manifest, and you already know that within you all states are available, then that's good. Right, and then I'm not speaking to you directly, I'm also speaking to you right now. If you really feel like in this loop, in this black hole of watching one SP video after another and thinking there's one holy thing you're missing right here. And if you think that, again, that this is the one person you need in your life to be happy, right? This can be toxic. This can go in a toxic direction if you're not mindful, if you're not working within yourself and also, expanding your own version of yourself. So you might be living in this fantasy that no one can ever live up to this person and their perfection, right? They're perfect. The way they look at you, the way they speak, the way they engage with you, the way they love you, the way they showed up when you already have been in a relationship with them. That makes you seem like, hey, this is perfect and no one else can give me that. It is really only this person. And you think that this voice inside of you will disappear and you will forever be happy if you could be with this one person, right? But like I said, manifesting or fixating on one person can be very toxic and unhealthy, eat you up inside, and breed neediness and clinginess. Right? It can, the more and more you fix it on, the more and more you will be like attaching yourself unwittingly to them and say, only when they're there, I'm the happily partnered. Only when they're there, I'm happily partnered. But one test that we all can do is, and it's not only true for the relationship field, it's also true for money, for example, right? So let's just say you won $10,000. So then you get the $10,000 in cash laying on your desk. But then inflation happens and $10,000 are only worth $100 in this extreme example, okay? Would you then still want the $10,000? No, the $10,000 is just worth almost nothing. I mean, it's not much worth again, or still. So, but what you have promised yourself from that stack of money, from the 10K, is that sensation of financial abundance, is that sensation of having more than enough money, is that sensation, that quality of being someone who has so much money that you can invest into something, buy something that you want, have a lifestyle, a certain level of lifestyle that you feel you desire. So it's not the money itself you want, but it's what you promise yourself from the money. The things you want to buy, the freedom, the luxury of being independent, whatever it is. Take that to the relationship example, right? You now say, I want this person. And again, we covered at the beginning, Yes, it is possible that you manifest that person as a partner, that you manifest that person back in your life. That is already checked. But would that person now be there, but the relationship would be miserable, or that person would always cheat on you, or that person would always disappear, that person would not treat you nicely? Would you still want that person? Right? That's why Neville said, okay, if your man, the husband, the man that you want, in case for like a woman who wants to manifest that husband, but it becomes clear that he's like a serial killer, that he lied to you, that he is not a good person, that he is a liar, whatever, would you still want that person? And then those questions help you to understand, wait, probably, potentially not, because what I promise myself from the person is that I am finally that happy partner. And I'm finally that, loving and loved and happy partner. And if the person that you want, let's just say an UFO would fly into this earth and would abduct your SP, what then? And they would literally be ceased to exist from this earth, right? Just for this funny example to bring this point across. Would you then, if your specific person would get abducted by aliens, what then? Like, would you then, for the rest of your life, want to stay without a partner? I'm saying that, right, not to disempower you, not to limit you, not to demotivate you, but I'm saying that to generate this thought in your mind to be like, hey, do you really want the person? Or what you in actuality deep down want is that you're finally in the sensation of being absolutely loved, being in this amazing relationship, but you right now have connected that and attached that from your experience or from what you project onto this person, and you say, okay, only this person can give that to me. Only this 10K can give that to me if I win it in a lottery, right? But I'm here to tell you that, wait, it can also be helpful if you focus on the state, the quality you want to be in, and then life has opportunities to give you that either through your SP, for example, that's still totally available, but also maybe through some other ways, right? Yeah, that's basically the thing, right? That you discover that the state of being happily partnered, being in this loving relationship, being the happiest partner in your town, in your city, in your country, on earth, that you're being so happy to, be this loving and loved partner, and you're so happy about the relationship you're in, that this state is right now inside of you without anyone being there on the external, without this SP now being there. That gives you more freedom, that gives you more power, right? That stops making that thing on the outside that you want bigger than you. So oftentimes we're projecting a certain story of feeling onto a person, right? So sometimes we were in a relationship with them, and again, we know the way they are, we know the way they loved us, and we kind of, got entangled in that, and then that faded away because of like a breakup or something, and then we still have the story that we project on them, like they're the ideal partner, they're the perfect partner, and no one else can live up to those things. And again, that can be toxic, that can be unhealthy, because it can simply limit you a lot and make you stay like attached to this one person and eat your happiness away. If you think that, okay, as long as they're not there, I can never be fully happy, I can never feel like a loving and loved partner, stuff like that. So what is wrong with manifesting a specific person? Nothing. Like I said multiple times, I told you in the beginning, I'm not trying to be biased here and try to talk you out of it. We talked that it is possible, we said that it's possible, and there's nothing, in a sense, wrong with it, right? But you should stay mindful that it can be toxic, that it can breed obsession, neediness, lack behavior, and all of those things, right? So what usually happens is it drifts into this fantasizing direction, right? You get psyched out of your mind, you paint stories of this person, although these are things that are not like factually true in a sense, and you lose touch to the 3D, right? You become like, let's just say they treated you really, really badly, or something really bad happened, or they're like things that actually should be really addressed in like a conscious human to human relationship. You look over that, you stay in la la land, you stay in fantasy, but you're also not real and authentic to yourself. Yes, we can change the story we have about someone. Yes, we can change the version of how someone is showing up. But also, if you do that too forcefully and too unrealistic, in a sense, right? There is no realistic, unrealistic. But if you do that in a way where you hurt yourself and your mental health, then this will lead to nothing. This will only lead to you staying stuck, to you staying alone, to you staying in this attachment to this one person. So be real to yourself also, right? Just because of the fact that we can manifest a specific person does not mean that we should always like do it or start there. Because where we should start is with us. Where we should start is, again, with the state we want to be in, the qualities that are important to us, our boundaries, our self-concept, who we want to be, how we want to be seen, how we want to see the world, what is relevant to us, right? More like the qualities. If we start to feel more abundant, more whole, more stable, more grounded, more that we've like purified our desires and all of it, but then we say out of choice that, hey, you know what? I know it is possible. I know I don't need them. I know that I can also manifest actually someone else in my life, but I want to empower myself and do it for the sake of proving my power to myself. Then go for it. Then no one is holding you back to still do it. But when then still those emotional patterns, this neediness comes through, you will just be in this spiral, in this black hole, right? So the more you live in your fantasies, the more needy you become. You'll get yourself more and more into attachment, craving, obsession, and unconscious manipulation. Why? Because that's one of the root causes is this deeply rooted fear of incompleteness, right? This deeply rooted fear of this person is what you need. This person alone can make you happy. But if you look back at relationships you had when you were a teenager, when you were younger, you also thought in that moment, that's the one relationship, I will be here forever. But then it ended up to, not be your partner. And then you got another partner, and then maybe another partner. And then this is now this one partner that you really want to manifest back. But that's probably because you like really fell in love with them. And you, again, connected their face, connected them to be the only one that can fulfill you, to be the only one that can make you happy. And you forget that the outside is a mirror. So that was only possible that they showered you with love, that they showed up in this amazing way, because that is what you internally assumed for yourself to be true. That is, you were in a state of love. And this was expressed, in that case, through your SP. That they expressed something that you unwittingly were in those moments. Right now you think that it can be continued to only be expressed through them, which is not true. If you would now go fully in that state of being loved and a loving partner, it could again be the SP, but it could also be someone else, right? That is a factual truth. That is simply the truth. So let's continue, right? So this X phenomena, right? So this, manifesting your X back thing is of course big. And people say, like I said, right? People say, I need this person back or otherwise I will never be happy, right? My ex, they're here. They're amazing. They're the best person on the earth, and I need them back right now. And by the way, I'm not saying that your ex is not a good person. Potentially, they're like a very great person. You shared a very great relationship with them, and understand that this state where you are together with them, where you are together with your specific person, is in existence. You can desire for it. You can hunger for it, but you have to also, in a sense, try to purify your desires a little bit and see, hey, do you actually desire the SP, or do you think you desire them because you're still attached to, the stories you project onto them, the story that you keep alive and all of that? Or do you actually, behind this, desire to really be in the best relationship ever, but you now think that it can only come through the SP? That is something I can't tell you. And again, there were people who said, no matter what I say here, right, there are people who will still say, yeah, but I still want to manifest my SP. And I say, awesome, then go for it, right? But also then don't blame, then don't complain and say, oh, but this is so hard, and why is it not showing up, and why am I still in this loop of being so emotional about this, right? And either go a step further, go to the end state in which you want to be, which is happily partnered, because you would not want your SP if you then end up miserable with them. You only want them because you then say, then I will finally be happily partnered again, or mature enough basically, and start to become, that's what I will say at the end, right? Learn to embrace your emotions, learn to work with them, learn to let them be there, learn to transcend them in the light of awareness, learn to understand Neville's teachings better, learn to understand that within your awareness, every potential exists, so you don't need it, but you can manifest it out of your free choice if you know that it won't fulfill you more on the outside, because within you, you have to already find that fulfillment. The outside can only reflect stuff that you already made alive inside of you, right? So go for your SP if you want it. Again, I told you many times, I'm not here to talk anyone out of it. Watch my SP guide video that I did. Watch the success stories, read the success stories, empower yourself, and go for it if you want. But also look the fact into the eye that I see many people who, get really lost in this black hole of manifesting an SP, and it can hurt. It can be emotional. There's love involved, right? There's this connection involved. And so it is a topic that we should shine some light on, which is what I try to do in this video, right? So you get sucked into scarcity, sometimes even lowering your boundaries or dignity only to get glimpses of the feeling of being with your ex, right? So then you, even if they treat you not good, okay, at least I can be with them. Also, if they don't treat me that good. But listen, you're here to experience your best life. You're here to be treated like the best way possible. You're treated to feel wholeness and abundance. And someone walking over you, not respecting you, not showering you with love, that's not what you deserve. So you can focus on fixing them and trying to fix them and trying to manifest a new version of them and do all of that and nitpick the process. Or you can go to the end. That end can be that you are with them happily, but that end can also be not including anyone, right? Not in a sense holding on to it. Must come in that way. It must come through that way, but opening up more to the possibilities that your consciousness can create, can generate, can externalize, that are mysterious and surprising sometimes, and going to the real end, which is, who would you be if you have your desire? You would then be happily partnered. If you have your SP, if you have your ex back, what would then be the case for you? What is it that you promise yourself to then be? You are then the happily partner. You are then in the being happily partnered state. That is the real end that you can now appropriate without fixating on anything. Right? So be aware that sometimes you turn another person into your purpose, right? You make that your life purpose. You have that as your main desire. You have that pedalized, and you basically say that, this is the main desire you focus on, and I'm good at manifesting this and this and this, but this is the one area that I'm struggling with and that I'm focusing on for years. And that can make some people miserable. That can make some people really sad. That can make some people lose then trust in this principle, because they're like so much in this constant, like, I want this, I need this, I don't have this yet, I need to do more, kind of like energy, that nothing much can show in the mirror of life, because still within they're not fully fulfilled and in this state of fully having it. And then they say, okay, the law doesn't work. Okay, manifesting doesn't work. Okay, this is all not true, because they're like, they're not approaching it in a maybe more wiser way. So you disown your values, your interests, your hobbies, and your life, right? You give away everything that makes you. You give away everything that interests you. You give away the person that you could be, your potential, right? Your interests, your hobbies, what you actually want to also do with your life, because you stay fixated on that, right? You're not also having the guts and the boldness to look the fact into the eyes that even if you manifest the SP, that will not make you happy long term. That cannot bring you everlasting joy or happiness or fulfillment, because those are things that can only be found inside of you. The same is true for money, health, friendships, other things in your life. Of course, we want relationships. Of course, we sometimes desire a specific partner, but I'm just here to remind you of some things so that you take your power back, that you stop making the desire bigger and more important than you and your own life and your own values and your own boundaries and your self-concept, right? So I'm aware that it hurts. I'm aware that you might love them. This is normal. We love people, right? But it's also sometimes that we can continue to love them in a healthy way, but create some distance in itself and say, hey, yes, I love you, but I now give myself a state of being a love partner. And then I see, does it draw this person back in my life? Do I continue to be drawn to this person? Or do I maybe notice that I'm also open to possibilities of someone new stepping in my life? That is subjective. You have to find it out for yourself, right? So I know it can hurt. I've been there too. right? I've learned these things too. I've also learned to look those fears into the eyes, which is something I would recommend, right? If you still try to run away from this fear, what if I don't end up with them? What if I don't end up with them? What if they seem to at the end not become my partner again? If that scares you, then you resist that, and what you resist persists. So you have to also look that fear into the eye and say, hey, yep, there is also the potential that I don't end up with them. If I stop focusing on that, if, that's the resistance always seems to stay there. There is also, and that's a truth, there is also the potential that you don't end up with them, as there is the potential that you are with them already. But you also have to look that in the eyes and make peace with that, to also know that, okay, I'm also fine without them. I'm also okay without them. I'm also whole without them. Right? And then when you did that inner work for a while, when you increased your self-awareness, when you transcended your ego to some degree, when you purified your desires, when you feel more whole, when you understand Neville's teachings, when you know that everything is possible, that creation is finished, that means that yes, you are also together with your SP in a state and you can now imaginatively experience. And when you did all of that, then you can really see, okay, what do I now want to focus on? Still including them in the scene, still including them in my state, or going more to the end, keeping it more general, right? So learn to embrace the emotions, learn to embrace those things that will arise when you manifest the SP. Maybe the memories, maybe hurting emotions, maybe overwhelming emotions, right? If you need help with that, by the way, and you want to come to a point, what I described earlier, where you no longer feel like you need to manifest this, but it's more like, hey, I want to manifest this, and then it comes easier to you, which is, again, that the thing that the people that I worked with who shared the success stories, this is what they experienced. And if you also want to get to that point where you perceive it as something easier, as something that is more natural, as something that you just do really out of preference, but actually you're like also fine without it, it's no longer something you need, but something you choose, then join my program. Second link in the description. We discover how all of that works, how you can also, in a sense, deal with these overwhelming emotions that can arise inside of you, how you can transcend them, how you can face those fears, and also deeper concepts that I not really share on this channel, right? So the fact is, or the solution is, that you start to be whole now, that you remember who you are, be still and know that I am, for you to understand is you are an infinite awareness that includes every potential, that you don't need anything on the outside to feel a certain state, that every state is inside of you. Also that state that you promise yourself from this person, you can now generate that. You can now ask yourself, who would I be if this person shows up in my life? Right, then I would be, someone from the outside would describe me as this happy and loving and loved partner, but that's a state you can now incorporate without attaching it to them. So I want you to feel good for yourself. I want you to be whole. I want you to feel abundant. I want you to feel good. I want you to feel peace. I want you to feel love. And I want you to not be attached to things. I want you to not be dependent and needing things. So do that, focus on that, and then you can decide if you want to manifest that SP or not. And I do hope that this video opened your eyes a little bit and maybe showed you that, maybe you did find yourself in some of the things that I mentioned. Right, where you sacrifice your life away, where you, give it too much importance, where you put it too much on a pedestal, and you're not also caring about you and your life and your health and your well-being and other things that you want. That is very important, right? You are wonderful. You're a wonderful being that now is the experience through certain states of like being this individualized, version of yourself, and no one in this earth, in a sense, is it worth to sacrifice yourself for, in a sense, right? It is amazing to be in relationships. It is amazing to have a loving partner. It is amazing to also manifest an SP, but we should do it from a healthy perspective. That I'm convinced, and it worked for me only when I looked into the eyes, and I also learned that, it's not about that SP, because if they would get abducted by aliens, then that state is still available in you. Yes, of course, that's sad. So yes, of course, we need time to work through this grief of the loss. We need time to work through these emotions sometimes. It is subjective from person to person, right? Some people are really bold and they just say, yeah, whatever, someone else will come. Some people are really bold and they say, yeah, okay, I will manifest them back. Some people need time to process it and then they're able to manifest it back. And some people, again, they need time to process it and then they figure out that, I give myself right now in general that state of being loved and happily partnered. So figure out for yourself what feels most relevant. Again, I distance myself from deciding something for you, but I seeing myself as showing you the, like, what's happening, what's going on, what I see, what can help you, and yeah, so that you feel the best version of yourself. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you mean in the comments, how you see it, what helped you, and decide what feels most relevant to you in that situation, right? Thanks for watching, guys. If you need help, again, with that subject, then I recommend you join our program. Second link. I speak to you in the next one. Bye, guys.